up your yellow placard. I am calling the Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order. We do have a quorum with myself present, Councilwoman Allen present, Councilwoman Evans Siegel, Councilwoman Gamble, Councilman Gregg, Councilman Huffman, Councilwoman Johnston, and Councilwoman Webb. We do have some individuals who have signed up for public comment pursuant to Council Rule 28. Public comment period at committee meetings is limited to items that appear on the committee agenda. Speakers are also limited to 2 minutes. We have 3 individuals signed up. First, we have Mr. Mike Lacey speaking on resolution, is that resolution 1659? Resolution 2026-1659 in opposition.
Hi, good afternoon. You're going to hear many comments today about the various resolutions accepting donations from the Nashville Downtown Partnership and an MOU with them as well. I think you've also been told that you're not allowed to speak on the floor about liability that the Nashville Downtown Partnership may hold for damage done to a parking structure in the downtown garage. If my understanding is right, that is something that is not able to be discussed openly. I'm wondering then why it is appropriate to arrange for a donation from that very same entity that there may be that outstanding liability with. This seems like a very blatant conflict of interest, that there is a potentially tens or $100 million liability between an entity, and there are donations being sought directly through conversations with the mayor's office. Interestingly, not with the entity that received this grant, which is the District Management Corporation, but the Nashville Downtown Partnership. NDP is the vendor, not the DMC. NDP is the vendor that oversees that parking garage. They are the vendor that was chosen to give these donations, which they are not obligated to give. There's some sort of arrangement that's been come to, and when you have an arrangement, there is leverage. Getting someone to give a grant to a city for some reason that they're not required to. You're not allowed to talk about the parking garage, but they are allowed to pursue a $3.8 million set of donations from this entity. That's very interesting to me.
Thank you. Next we have, and I apologize, Deluvio Palazzolo, speaking in regard to Resolution 2026-1659 in opposition.
My name is Deluvio Palazzolo, they, them. I'm in District 14, and we in Nashville live on the lands of the Yuchi, Shawnee, and East Cherokee. I'm here today to give you all an update on a community survey going around about the MOU to ascertain what the people of Nashville would rather the money be spent on. To be clear, NDP's proposals of lighting, bathroom, and outreach are fantastic, and we do not want those to change. The issue is with the continued surveillance, militarization, and emboldening of an oppressive, murderous police state. This is what we have so far. As of today, we have over 517 responses. For building and renovation, the top choices are renovating to existing properties to create permanently affordable housing and the restoration of the downtown public library. For infrastructure, the top choices are comfortable benches without obtrusive bars and traffic calming infrastructure. For resident assistance, the top choices are housing assistance and homeless outreach. For violence prevention and community safety, the top choices are mobile community-based mental health and crisis intervention teams and community-based restorative justice programming. Other ideas that are provided by several respondents were fully furnishing Nashville to be a walkable and bikeable city, as many areas have no infrastructure for this at all. Renovating buildings into community resource centers with on-site nursing, social workers, washing for self and laundry, continuing education programs, and more. Creating and maintaining community gardens of indigenous forageable plants to address food insecurity, environmental repair, and city beautification, and traffic signage in multiple languages, and the improvement of visibility for traffic, like using reflective paint and markers that are easier to see in all conditions. Related to the library specifically, 60% of all respondents want the library repaired expeditiously and specifically want NDP to take accountability. Fighting liability and dancing around how long until a vital piece of our community infrastructure can be repaired does not give any credence to their claim to want to be good business partners. We do not want business partners. We want community partners, and we ask you to make us a community again.
Last on the list is Mr. Steve Ryder, speaking in regard to Resolution 2026-1659 and 1733 in opposition. Mr. Ryder.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'd like to reiterate a little bit what Mike Lacey brought to your attention. There is some issues regarding conflicts of interest, but I want to focus on something just a little bit different, and that is that I'm sure you'll hear the proponents talk about, well, the surveillance system and all this stuff. We just want to lock up the bad guys. That's all we want to do. But I want to tell you that in this country, on a per capita basis, we lock up more people than anybody. And that doesn't include the people we lock up outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. And I don't think we're more dangerous or have more criminal activity than other countries. But I do think that we have a culture of fear, that we promote fear-mongering and just, we want you to be safe. When I listen to the local TV station, One, they sign off on a report and saying, you're code red station. Code red. We have another channel that says keeping you safe, informed, and connected. We are just obsessed with safety. And I don't think we live in a dangerous country myself. But if you look at the people we do lock up, probably a third of the people we lock up in this city are for probation violations. And you want to know what? A lot of those people are just poor. They can't go out there and pay their probation officer. So they're in violation, and we lock them up. And we have a prison industrial complex. One of the biggest ones in this city is based here in the country, that we have here. And I think we have a perverse incentive to lock people up. And I just don't think that's right. Now, wealthy people, they can hire the best lawyers in town, but poor people can't. They get a meet 'em and plead 'em attorney at the public defender's office, and that's the best that they can do. So please, if you're going to allocate some money, allocate to things that actually going to benefit this community, not just by locking more people up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, committee members, I'm going to read the items that are on consent. If something needs to come off, if you could raise your hand and I will recognize you. Resolution 2026-1722, 1723, 1724, 1725, 1726, 1727, 1728, 1729, 1730, 1732, 1738, 1739, 1740, 1741, 1742, 1743, 1738, okay. I think there's some duplicates on here. Where did I leave those? 1746, 1747, 1748, 1758, Bill 2025, 1008, Bill 2025-1189, Bill 2025-1190, and Bill 2025-1191. Is there anything that needs to come off of consent? All right, I'm going to read the captions. Again, if anything needs to come off, raise your hand, and I will recognize you. Item number 3, Resolution 2026-1722, Toombs, Huffman, Vo, and others, resolution accepting a grant through a collaboration agreement with the Martha O'Brien Center to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Action Commission related to the Collaborative Tennessee Opportunity Pilot Initiative Implementation Grant from the Tennessee Department of Human Services. Resolution 2026-1723, Toombs, resolution to approve the First Amendment to the contract for purchase of insurance services approved by Resolution 2021-1086 between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Finance Department and Arthur J. Gallagher's Risk Management Services, Inc. Resolution 2026-1724, Toombs, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the claims of Sasha Palmer against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $42,500, with said amount to be paid from the Judgments and Losses Fund. Resolution 2026-1725, Toombs, Vo, and Gad, resolution confirming the compliance and review by the Metropolitan Government of its financial policies and authorizing the application submittal for the Financial Excellence Award of the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury. Resolution 2026-1726, Welch, Toombs, and Horton, resolution to approve the Second Amendment to the lease agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and the Jocelyn Sign and Maintenance Company, Inc. for the real property located at 630 Murfreesboro Pike, Nashville, Tennessee, for parking purposes. Resolution 2026-1727, Toombs, Huffman, Bradford, and Gad, resolution accepting a grant from Jennifer McMurray to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health to provide funding for the Pet Pantry Program. Resolution 2026-1728, Toombs, Huffman, Ewan, and others. Resolution approving Amendment 1 to a strengthening public health infrastructure, workforce, and data systems grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health to implement workforce strategies to build organizational resilience, promote employee well-being, and enhance workforce performance while focusing on building healthier communities. Resolution 2026-1729, Toombs, Huffman, Vo, Ewan, and Welsh. Resolution approving Amendment 2 to an air pollution control program support grant from the United States Environmental Protection Agency to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health for the ongoing collection of data on ambient air monitoring and various other activities to reduce or control air pollutants in Nashville, Tennessee. Resolution 2026-1730, Toombs and Huffman, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding entered into by and between the Metropolitan Sports Authority and the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department for the purchasing and employment of meridian barriers. Item number 13, resolution 2026-1732, Toombs, Huffman, and Vo, resolution approving Amendment 3 to a hotspot violent crime intervention fund, targeted community crime reduction project grant from the Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to provide support to local law enforcement in developing and implementing evidence-based strategies to combat violent crime. Item number 18, resolution 2026-1738, Toombs, Horton, Evans, Siegel, Vo, and others. Resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Nashville Department of Transportation for the maintenance of safety improvements to various signalized intersections located within Nashville and Davidson County. Resolution 2026-1739, Nashley, Horton, and Evans Siegel. Resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, by and through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure for the repair of existing pavement failures and resurfacing of 2.58 miles of Tusculum Road. Resolution 2026-1740, Welsh, Vo, Johnston, Nash, and others. Resolution approving Amendment 1 to a Safe Streets for All grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure to address safety issues along Noblesville Pike related to substandard and or missing walking, biking, and transit facilities, the need for pedestrian scale lighting, and lack of crossing locations present throughout the project area. Resolution 2026-1741, Toombs, Evans, Siegel, Vo, and others. Resolution approving a grant contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Walk Bike Nashville, Inc., a 501c3 organization for the provision of education, engagement, and event coordination services in connection with Metro's Vision Zero implementation plan, NDOT Safe Routes to School program, and Metro's multimodal plans and projects. Resolution 2026-1742, Toombs and Evans Siegel, resolution approving Amendment Number 1 to a sole source contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Temple, Inc. to provide Carmina traffic control devices, products, equipments, and parts at a 10% discount. Resolution 2026-1743, Taylor Coopin, Toombs, Evans Siegel, and others. Resolution approving an in-kind donation of project labor, equipment rental, site work, and installation materials, travel, and supplies from the Cumberland River Compact to the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure to support the DPAY project at the Fifth Jubilee Bridge parking lot. Resolution 2026-1746, Toombs, Evans, Seago, Vogt, Ewing, and others. Resolution accepting a recycling rebate grant from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Nashville Department of Waste Services to purchase curbside recycling carts and use AI technology to identify contamination in recycling. Resolution 2026-1747, Toombs, Evans, Seago, and Ewing, a resolution approving a donation of foam packaging collection, densifying, and repurposing equipment and materials from Foam Cycle LLC to the Department of Waste Services. Resolution 2026-1748, Toombs and Evans Seago, resolution approving a contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Crawford Electric Supply Company LLC to provide Allen Bradley Rockwell products, parts, and service for the Department of Water and Sewerage Services. Resolution 2026-1758, Toombs, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Ludlow Flats Unit owners, OIC Ludlow Flats amended against the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County in the amount of $82,954.90, with said amount to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. Bills on second reading, item number 28, Bill 2025-1008, 1008, an ordinance, Allen, Rutherford, Cooper, Nash, and others, an ordinance establishing a voluntary attainable housing incentive program for Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County for the purpose of authorizing certain incentives to be provided to property owners who seek to build multifamily attainable housing. Item number 30, Bill 2025-1189, Toombs, Welsh, Gadd, and others, ordinance establishing a program for the purpose of providing assistance to low-income elderly residents of the Metropolitan Government for fiscal year 2026. Bill 2025-1190, Toombs, Vogt, Welsh, and others, an ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Department of Parks and Recreation and Vanderbilt University Medical Center to allow parks to participate in a personalized intervention program that supports healthy weight for children. And item number 32, Bill 2025-1191, Gregg, Toombs, Horton, and others, ordinance approving greenway conservation easement agreements between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation, and Riverwalk at Mill Creek Homes LLC for greenway improvements at 0 Mill Creek Meadow Drive and 0 Lebanon Pike. Does anything need to come off of the consent agenda? Councilwoman Suara. No problem. Were there any other hands for pulling something off of consent? Seeing none, can I get a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the items that are on the consent agenda. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. All right, going back to the items that were not on consent. Item number 1, Resolution 2026-1733, Toombs, Huffman, and Coopin, a resolution accepting a monetary donation from the Nashville Downtown Partnership, Incorporated, to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to assist with the purchase of 15 video cameras. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded. Can I get a motion on the substitute? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the substitute. Director Wilson, can you explain what the substitute does, please?
Yes, Chair. This substitute would take what was a monetary donation and substitute the language of this resolution to turn it into a grant agreement. Essentially, this would add a reporting requirement for the Metropolitan Government to provide publicly available data to Downtown Partnership that is necessary as part of their grant requirements for the with the state of Tennessee.
All right. Any additional discussion? All right. I'm looking at people. All right. Seeing none. All those in favor of approving the substitute? Okay. No, not on. All those in favor of approving the substitute? Aye. Opposed? No. Any not voting or abstaining? All right, can I get a motion to approve the resolution as substituted? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the resolution as substituted. Any discussion? Councilwoman Porterfield.
Thank you, Chair. I apologize. I missed part of what interim special counsel Wilson. I need an acronym for that. I missed part of the explanation that he was given for the substitute. Could you explain the substitute and also explain for the viewing audience what this piece of legislation does?
Yes, council member. Excuse me. This legislation would essentially allow the metropolitan government to enter a grant agreement with Nashville Downtown Partnership. MNPD would receive funds to assist with the purchase of 15 video cameras that would be placed at existing locations downtown. The substitute changes the what was originally a donation to a grant agreement, and the grant agreement would allow MNPD to provide publicly available data to Downtown Partnership that is required under Downtown Partnership's grant agreement with the state of Tennessee.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And thank you, Chair. My questions are geared more towards public health and safety and not through the budgetary process. So I'm going to abstain on the vote in Budget and Finance today and hold my vote to the Public Health and Safety Committee until I hear some questions that I would like answered from MNPD.
All right. Any additional budget-related questions for the resolution as substituted? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution as substituted, you didn't raise your hand. Councilwoman Sora.
I'm sorry, trying to get clarification on something else. I'd like to make a motion for one meeting deferral.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded for a one meeting deferral. Any discussion, Councilman
Yes,
Sora?
and the reason for the deferral is that, you know, when this first came out, there were people asking if this will have a public hearing. And I didn't have an answer for them for a long time. And so I did not even, I know it's supposed to, it's required, but I did not even get it definite that we will have one until I saw the fiscal analysis. And then we have a substitute. And so people did not know there's a public hearing happening with this, and I don't think people are prepared to say anything today. So with that, I would like to at least give folks more time, knowing that we know there's a public hearing, people know there's a public hearing, and we can have one. So with that, again, I'm for one meeting deferral. Thank you.
Any additional discussion on the one meeting deferral? Councilmember Coopin.
Thank you, Chair, for recognizing me even though I'm not on the committee. I'm all for more time to have public engagement. I would wonder, I know that many of my constituents, both in support and opposed to this bill, have come out today for this public hearing. I also recognize that there was that gray, or that kind of gray area whether we would or wouldn't have one in the notice around that. So I'd wonder if it makes sense to bring this to the floor and allow for the public hearing today and then see if we need another one, or I just would hate to have all the people that have taken off of work and taken time out of their schedule who are planning on coming this evening for this hearing to then either show up or be told last minute that they have to come on a different day. So would just, I guess, Chair, ask if the mover of the motion would have thoughts on maybe how to reconcile that.
Councilwoman Sora.
For clarification, would having a deferral stop the people that come for public hearing today, Special Counsel?
Director Wilson.
Yes, council member, a one meeting deferral in this committee would lead to a deferral by rule on the floor tonight.
And that's before, that's before the public hearing.
Yes, so the public hearing would not occur if there was a one meeting deferral from any committee in which this resolution is being heard.
It was. Okay. What he says.
I didn't hear what he said.
Mr. Wilson, I would like to do a one meeting deferral. So I guess I'll withdraw that now and then just do it on the floor so that more people can have opportunity to come and speak on it. So that's fine.
Okay. So you've withdrawn your motion?
People didn't know, yeah. I want folks to know I want to do the one meeting deferral, but I also want folks that came to be able to speak. So how do we reconcile that? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, I saw Councilwoman Allen's hand first, and then I'll come back to you, Councilwoman Porterfield.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Procedurally, is it possible to have a public hearing and not close it so that then there can be more public hearing at the following meeting so that we can address both groups.
Director Wilson?
Council member, what may, to answer your question, a public hearing cannot be left open. However, the body could choose with a vote of 27 in ayes to schedule a second public hearing on this matter at the following meeting.
Thank you. That seems better than having people who are here to speak not be able to speak, and also not to address the possibility that there are people who would have wanted to speak but didn't know to come tonight. So that seems like a better solution to me.
All right, so the one meeting deferral motion has been withdrawn.
And so
Sorry.
I guess I didn't make that as an official motion, but I would move to have the public hearing tonight. And then I don't know if committee can make the recommendation that the council would then make a motion for a second public hearing 2 weeks later.
I don't think that's something that the committee can do. The public hearing is already scheduled.
Gotcha.
And then there can be a motion on the floor to schedule another.
So the committee does not need to make that recommendation. No. Okay, great. We just need to leave the window open for that to happen, and withdrawal creates that possibility. Thank you.
Correct. Well, we do need to vote on the motion of the resolution as substituted. Is there any further discussion on the resolution as substituted? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? 2. What is that? 9, 1, and 2? Okay. All right, motion carries. Moving on to item number 2, Resolution 2026-1721, Toombs, Resolution approving Amendment 1 to the Economic Impact Plan for the Rivergate Mall Economic Development Project. Can I get a motion? Move approval. Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. Item number 12, Resolution 2026-1731, Toombs, Huffman, Bowe, and Gadd. Resolution accepting a Violent Crime Intervention Fund grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration, Office of Criminal Justice Programs to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to provide funding to eligible local law enforcement agencies to develop and implement proven public safety strategies to combat violent crime and to develop, construct, or rehabilitate infrastructure. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second? It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. All right, item number 14, Resolution 2026-1734, Toombs, Huffman, and Coopin, resolution accepting a monetary donation from the Nashville Downtown Partnership, Incorporated, to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to assist with the purchase of an armored rescue vehicle. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded. Can I get a motion on the substitute? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the substitute. Is there any, well, actually, Director Wilson, can you tell us what the substitute does?
Yes, Chair. Much like the previous substitute on the Downtown Partnership grant, this substitute would turn what is a monetary donation into a grant agreement with the reporting requirements from MNPD to Downtown Partnership.
All right, is there any discussion on the substitute? Councilwoman Suara.
Thank you, Chair. Director Wilson, I know that with all 4 of these, we're changing them from donation to a grant. Is there any reason, and what changes in terms of how it's applied and what happens and all of that? Any note around it with why we're changing it and what the change implies?
Director.
Councilmember, I would say that there are no substantive changes to what is happening between what is in the original resolution and the substitute. While this is changing to a grant agreement, essentially what would happen in this case is that MNPD would provide publicly available data to Nashville Downtown Partnership, and Downtown Partnership would provide that information to the state as required by their separate grant agreement as they received with the downtown public safety grants.
So for
Councilwoman
clarification, the donation would not have required any reporting or anything, but the grant now does?
Yes, Councilmember, that's correct.
Is there, but in terms of performance and what is expected and what should be done, nothing changes with that. It's just the reporting requirement that is now changed. Is that correct?
Yes, Councilmember, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any additional discussion on the substitute? Councilwoman Allen?
Just for clarification, this is publicly available information. So in terms of transparency, which we always feel like is good, that information also would be available to the council, for example. Is that correct?
Director?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Any additional discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? All right, can I get a motion carries? Can I get a motion to approve the resolution as substituted? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the resolution as substituted. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? All right, motion carries. Item number 15, Resolution 2026-1735, Toombs, Huffman, and Coupin, resolution accepting a monetary donation from the Nashville Downtown Partnership, Inc. to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to assist with the purchase of a mobile command post. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded. Can I get a motion on the substitute? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the substitute. Is there any discussion on the substitute? Councilwoman Suara.
And I will be leaving a non-financial discussion to health and safety as well. But I'm just curious in terms of, I know we had a lot of conversation before on all of this when we had the MOU. I'm still curious as to the grantee and the grantor and the names. We had a whole lot thing about the Downtown Management Corporation and Nashville Downtown Partnership. How did all of this get resolved, or what's going on here? I'm still confused.
Director Wilson.
Council member, in this case, what we have in front of us is it would be a proposed grant agreement from Downtown Partnership to MNPD, and you are correct. The previous MOU that is still pending before the council also was between the Metropolitan Government and Downtown Partnership. At this point, these grant agreements are, while related, they are not directly involved with the original downtown public safety grants as it would have been in the MOU. And and at least that is my understanding, and I'm happy to be corrected by those who may have more knowledge on this.
Yes, please. The clarification by those who have more knowledge.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dave Rosenberg with the Mayor's Office. As was the case before, this Nashville Downtown Partnership is the entity that has the funds and is granting them to us. So that is who the grant is from. It's sitting in the Nashville Downtown Partnership's bank account. That entity has control of the money, and they're proposing, or we're proposing to enter into an agreement to accept a grant from them.
Thank you. So the money was actually received by NDP, and so NDP is now able to sub-grant it to us.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. Can I get a motion on the resolution as substituted? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the resolution as substituted. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. Item number 16, Resolution 2026-1736, Toombs, Huffman, and Coopin. Resolution accepting a monetary donation from the Nashville Downtown Partnership, Inc. to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to assist with the purchase of a tactical support post. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded. Can I get a motion on the substitute? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the substitute. Any discussion on the substitute? It is the same as the other substitutes. Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution as substituted? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the resolution as substituted. Any additional discussion? Councilwoman Allen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had some of this discussion. Can we just hear a little bit about what the mobile command post and the tactical support post are, under what circumstances they would be used, and if this is something we've paid for in the past?
I think the paid for is a budget question, but what they do may be more of public health and safety. So do you want to save that question for public health and safety, or?
How about the paid for in the past part?
Okay. I see Deputy Chief coming to the back. Is this something that we've paid for in the past? And introduce yourself at first.
Sure. Chris Gilder, Deputy Chief of Police, Nashville Police Department. We do currently operate a tactical operations command post. This is utilized by the SWAT team when they're handling a situation. The one that we currently have, though, was purchased in the year 2000. It is not a recurring fund like a patrol car that is going to be replenished and furnished. If we weren't utilizing a grant, I suspect we would have to make a 4% request for this vehicle.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Any additional discussion on the resolution as substituted? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. Item number 17, Resolution 2026-1737. Toombs, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury and loss of consortium claims of Nathan Mayo and Felicia Mayo against the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County in the amount of $450,000, and that said amount be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Any not voting or abstaining? Motion carries. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is item number 29, which is being withdrawn. That's Bill 2025-1063. All right, that completes all the items on the agenda. There are a few announcements. We will be having our pre-budget public hearing, the first meeting in February, and that will be publicly noticed. Also be on the lookout for information on a Budget 101 series. That's a series of informational sessions to educate the public on different aspects of the budget and how it works. Also, the Finance Department will be given on 2 occasions, we'll be given a mid-year budget and finance update. So both of our meetings in February, they will give about a 25-minute presentation to let us know where we are financially as a city. That completes the agenda for today. Meeting is adjourned.